What's up, YouTube? It's Kylie Martin here. We are back again on the Supercross BMX YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about how to ride no-handed, okay? I was at a ride out recently, and something that I never think about is riding with my hands on the bars. It's just always, I have my phone, I have my GoPro, whatever. I always get props for it, though, with not riding with hands on the bars. So today, we're going to go ahead and go into it so that if you guys want to be able to be like me and ride with no hands, then you for sure can do that. Okay, so first and foremost, when you have your bike, you want to make sure that everything on the bike is good. As we know, do the drop test if that's what you're about. Mainly, you're going to want to make sure that the front end of the bike is going to be completely tightened, because if it's not, that's just going to add more issues, more wobbles as you're trying to ride with no hands. So making sure that the front end of your bike is good is obviously the first step. That's really important. Next, making sure that your pants aren't too baggy. For these ones, this is about as baggy as I'll go before I hair tie them, because if you're riding and your pant gets snagged or a shoelace gets snagged, and you don't have your hands on the bars, it's going to be a lot harder to save it because you're now trying to reach for the brake in time to save it. So running through those things before you actually start going no-handed is very important. But now that we have those things checked off, you want to be at a comfortable speed as you're going. So for me, I like to try and usually aim for doing it on a downhill and then carry that momentum as I'm going uphills to keep pedaling. But what you're going to want to do is, as you have your hands here, you're going to want to slowly just remove them off. Try starting with one at first, keeping your hand on the brake so that you can kind of make sure that you have that control fully. Then as you're going, you want to go ahead and finally start taking off. It's not a push or anything like that. You may look at it and see that it looks like that sometimes, but it's really just going to be a gently letting go and continuing pedaling on. Making sure that your body stays upright is very important, because if you're leaning too far back, the bike can lose control. If you're leaning too far forward, it can be too head heavy. So making sure that your body's just pretty much straight upright and almost like you're sitting in a chair as you're pedaling is very important. So when we combine all these things together, it's going to look something like this. So something I'm sure that you guys noticed is, as I'm starting to move with my hands off the bars, I move my body with the bike. And it's not because I'm trying to overcompensate one way or another, but it's almost like when you're balancing in the gate for you BMX racers out there, you want to lean with it. You don't want to be fighting against the bike here. So that is going to be something that's very important, is to move with your bike as you're going. And then on top of that too, as you're moving, don't be afraid to really let the bars kind of move around as you need to. Something that I found that personally works best for me is thinking about, if I have to dodge something, then I'm going to lean away from it. I'm not going to fully jerk my body that way or panic and grab onto the bars, which if you have to do that last minute, that's totally fine. But be comfortable and be confident as you're riding, because that is going to be something that is very important as you're going on maybe long ride outs. Maybe you're just riding around the track for fun, but something that I did to practice at the time was taking like these yellow lines on the street and those little blocks that are in there and just going around them, because honestly, if you run over them or you hit it at the last minute, it's not going to hurt you and you're not going to fall. So learning that bike control is going to be super important, and it's a really cool drill to do overall that's really fun and gives you something new to do that maybe you impress the neighborhood kids with. But yeah, that is the video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys all know how to ride without your hands on the bars now, which I know it's basic, but it's so cool. So I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more.
Miss American Pie with the high IQ. Oh my, I do. Just fly right through. We'll get high as the kite in the afternoon.
Hi guys, Nate here from the Torker Side Act team, sponsored by Supercross. And when I'm screaming down the hill, there's only one shoe that I trust to keep me on those pedals. It's this shoe here. The Supercross Vans old school BMX shoe. Man, a red, white, and blue shoe from Supercross and Vans. I can't think of anything better to wear at the UCI Worlds this year. Let's get into some of those features. The first and probably most important feature on this shoe is the Vans BMX specific waffle cup sole, followed up by an arch guard on the inside. Now back to the top, we have blue suede toe and cap, followed up by white canvas speed check sides. Then on the inside, my personal favorite is the pop cush insole. Doesn't get much better than that. And I can't think of a better shoe, whether you run flats or you're just walking around in the pits between motos. There is no better shoe than Vans Supercross BMX shoe.